Imagine a household earning more than their parents ever did. 2 degrees, two full-time jobs, a combined income that looks impressive on paper. And yet, they're one medical bill away from stress, one job loss away from panic, one unexpected expense away from debt. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they don't budget, but because if one income disappears, everything collapses. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to admit. For millions of families today, earning more hasn't made life safer. It's made it more fragile. And if you're part of a dual income household, this video might explain something you've felt, but never had the words for. There's a name for this situation. It's called the two-income trap. And before you assume this is about poor money management, let's be clear. This is not a budgeting issue. This is not a discipline issue. And it's definitely not a motivation issue. In fact, the people most affected by this trap are usually educated, responsible, career-focused, and trying to do everything right. If you've ever looked at your income and thought, why does this still feel tight? You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. This video is going to make a lot of things click into place. My name is Eddie, and I have been doing research on why two-income households are often worse off than single-income households from decades ago. If you're someone who's working alongside a partner, both of you grinding, and you can't figure out why it still doesn't feel like enough, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Let's rewind for a moment. A few decades ago, the typical middle-class household worked very differently. One income covered the basics: housing, food, transportation, healthcare. The second adult often stayed home, not because families were wealthier, but because costs allowed it. That second income wasn't required. It was a backup plan. If the primary earner lost a job, someone else could step in. If money got tight, there was room to adjust. That margin mattered more than income. Now compare that to today. Two incomes aren't optional anymore. They're assumed. And once both incomes become permanent, the backup disappears. Here's where things quietly shifted. As dual-income households became normal, prices didn't stay the same. They adjusted upward. Homes stopped being priced for one income. They were priced for two. School districts became competitive. Childcare exploded in cost. Commuting expenses doubled. Healthcare premiums rose faster than wages. None of this happened overnight. It happened gradually, quietly, year after year. So families didn't notice the trap forming. They just noticed that. Bigger incomes didn't bring relief. Raises disappeared faster. And comfortable always felt one step away. Let's talk about a realistic household today. Not extreme, not irresponsible, very normal. One partner earns $78,000 a year. The other earns $52,000. Combined income, $130,000. Sounds solid. Now let's break it down. After federal, state, and payroll taxes, that second income doesn't come home as $52,000. It's closer to $38,000. Now subtract childcare, $14,000 per year. Commuting, fuel, parking, work clothing, $4,500. Higher tax bracket impact on the first income. Convenience spending to survive busy schedules. Suddenly, that $38,000 looks more like $15,000 to $18,000. And here's the key question. Was that income worth the loss of flexibility, the stress, and the risk? Because if either partner loses their job, the entire system breaks. Not gradually, immediately. If this example feels uncomfortably familiar, pause for a second and think about your own situation. This channel breaks down money topics most people never explain clearly. So if that's useful to you, consider staying with me. Now let's talk about the real danger. The biggest cost of the two-income trap isn't financial. It's strategic. When both incomes are required, you can't downshift careers. You can't take time off. You can't absorb a shock. Every expense becomes fixed. Every decision becomes locked in. You're not living paycheck to paycheck. You're living commitment to commitment. That's why high-earning households feel anxious. They're not poor. They're fully allocated. Here's the mental shift most people never make. Income doesn't create security. Flexibility does. A household earning less but able to survive on one income is often safer than a household earning more but requiring two. Security isn't about maximizing earnings. It's about minimizing fragility. That's the part nobody advertises. The alternative isn't quitting work, and it's not rejecting ambition. It's building your life so that fixed costs can survive on one income. The second income is optional. Margin is intentional. When the second income becomes a tool instead of a requirement, everything changes. Savings grow faster, stress drops, choices expand, not overnight, but steadily. The two income trap doesn't mean you failed. It means the rules changed, quietly. And once you see the trap, you can start designing a life with margin again. If you want more long-form breakdowns like this, explaining the systems behind money, not just surface tips, click that like button, subscribe, and watch the next video. Because understanding the game matters more than playing harder.